Hey, welcome to Phantom X Design, and in this video I'm making some cabinet doors for my all-in-one workstation. I call it the Cyclone Workbench. It's kind of a test on these cabinet doors. I just kind of want to see for the rest of the workbench what color and style doors I'd like to use. So hopefully you can get maybe some ideas of your own for your own workbench or shop cabinet doors for the style, colors, things like that. So come on along and check out the project. So the cabinet doors I'm building in this video are for the left side of my all-in-one workbench I call the Cyclone Workbench. It's a complete Cyclone dust collection system built right in the workbench. It runs off an 8-inch inline duct fan reduced down to 4 inches. I've got videos on the dust collection system up right now. The all-in-one workbench is still in progress. If you want to keep updated on that build, go ahead and subscribe, and you can follow along with that as well. So the style cabinet doors I'm making is called a shaker style. They're super easy to make. By all means, I'm not a cabinet maker, so I thought that would be a good way to go. Also, ironically, I really like the way the shaker door looks. It's very simple, clean look. Typically, it's made with a tongue and groove. You have the stiles on the sides. It goes up and down the long side of the cabinet door, and the rails are the top and bottom, short side. And tongue and groove with some MDF or some thin plywood that you put in the back in the groove. I just chose to make a rabbet cut and do it that way, but you'll see what I'm talking about. Right now I'm just taking some measurements on the cabinet doors to get the layout, cut some pieces up, and get started. I went ahead and glued the rails and stiles door frame together on a flat surface. I'm making my workbench right now, so the only place I have to work is literally on the ground. Before you glue up your rails and stiles for your door frame, you're going to want to do any routing beforehand. I chose to do rabbet routing bit setup, so I went ahead and glued everything up. I like to route things after I glue it up. Next, I'm setting up to cut some 1/4 inch MDF, which is going to be used for the face inset into the door frame. And if you're wondering why I'm working on the ground, it's because I'm literally working inside my new Cyclone Workbench. The top is just not on the workbench, and I just got my dust collection system activated like an hour earlier, so I don't have the dust collection system hooked up to the 1/4 inch DeWalt circular saw like I should. After routing a 1/2 inch inset rabbet into the back of the door, I need to trim out just a little bit of the inside corners by hand with a chisel, and the reason for that is because our router bit is round and it leaves just a little bit of the edge inside of there. So that's no problem. We're going to trim it out so the panel will lay flat in the inset door. After carving out the inside edges with the chisel, now the piece of 1/4 inch MDF will fit really nice in that inset groove, nice and even. Next, I just dry fitted the panel into the door frame and leaned it up against the cabinet just to kind of see how it'll look and how things will get going together here. Next, it's time to prepare the wood for paint, to play around with it to give it the look and feel I'm after. And I do this by wiping both the face plates and the door frames both with TSP back and front. That's going to take off any fingerprints or dust, things like that, and it really helps out a lot. Next, it's time to paint the door frames and inset face, and I like to use the Behr paint and primer in one. You can get it from Home Depot. It's in a flat black. I really like this stuff. It works great on MDF as well. I use a paintbrush for the door frames and I use a roller for the inset face. I'm experimenting on a piece of scrap wood with the texture, color, and look and feel that I'm after. This is somewhat what I'm looking for. The texture I'm trying to accomplish, I do this by attaching a wire nylon attachment to my cordless drill I'm running it lengthwise both on the stiles and rails back and forth to give it a weathered industrial look. Running the nylon wheel back and forth on the door frame will give the wood grain a brushed look and highlight some areas that we're going to do for the next step when we take some red dye and rub it all over the door frame. I like to use ultra dye in the color of infrared. I used it on a lot of projects before. It's very hard to find in larger bottles, but it gives it a great look. The color came out with more of a magenta tint to it, and I was looking for more of a red look. So I went ahead and took some acrylic paint, a small little bottle, and wiped it all over the door frame. It turned out a lot better. You can see side by side the color difference. Now you can play around with this however you want to do it. You don't even have to use red. You can use whatever you want, but hopefully this gives you some ideas for your own shop cabinets or workbench cabinets. After I put a coat of polyacrylic on the door frames, now it's time to glue the inset panels in. So running a bead of glue along the inset edge there. And then we're going to lay the face plate down into that groove, nice and flush, to give it a beautiful overall look. Now it's time to put a face on the cabinet. I'm going to use 1.5 inch trim and a cordless DeWalt 18 gauge brad nailer. Then give it a quick sand with the orbital sander and roll on some paint. Next, I had to notch out each door for my casters. Then I attached some door handles, which I actually later switched out. Then I made a jig to make sure that the door handle holes were nice and straight. Then I added some neodymium magnets to the inside of the door so they helped close securely. And now the cabinet doors have now been completed. And again, this is just kind of a test of the style that I wanted to do for the rest of the workbench, as far as color and the style of the doors and hinges and things like that.